Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have the privilege to introduce some old wine in a new bottle. Dr. A.K. Das, as you see, many of you might be remembering him. He headed the Department of Nuclear Medicine at PR Singh Hospital previously. Then he moved to greener pastures, and now he is what is written there, very eminent practitioner of nuclear medicine at Patna, and I think you will enjoy hearing him.
Thank you, Dr. Maji. It's nice to be here at this CLW auditorium after a long time and meeting so many old friends over here. I'm thankful to Dr. Patra, Dr. Kumar and Dr. Majumdar for inviting me to speak in this August gathering. Actually, I was told to speak on nuclear medicine, the whole vast subject, but I think considering the tempo and the audience sentiments, I should rather switch on to a very interesting topic, a case presentation, then going into the details of nuclear medicine, because I find most of my colleagues present over here has got huge experience of what is nuclear medicine. Please. Thank you. So here is a very small case presentation. We do bone scan regularly in nuclear medicine. This is to look for any bone disease, whether it's a neoplastic or an orthopedic or a benign, whatever may be. Now, here is the case presentation during our study. Here is a 30-year-old woman. Now, she had a renal transplant. As you see in this bone scan, kidneys are also seen. Now, she had a nephrogenic systemic fibrosis with predominant skin finding. Now, our bone scan shows extensive symmetric skin uptake in lower extremities and distal upper extremities. Uptake is also seen in calf muscles, Achilles tendon and chest wall. Now, here is a FDA goes on that FDA had received reports of 90 patients with moderate to end-stage kidney disease who developed nephrogenic system fibrosis or nephrogenic fibrosing dermopathy after having an MRI or MRA scan with gadolinium-based contrast agent. So this is because the learned colleagues present in the August gathering, we do refer patients for MRI very frequently. Here is a message to all of them that before recommending a patient for MRI study, what are the steps to be followed? Now, based on this recent research, this NSF occurs only in patients with advanced or in end-stage kidney disease and strongly related to the use of gadolinium dyes for MRI scans. At this time, there are no known cases of NSD or NFD in patients with normal kidney function. Now, currently little is known about this nephrogenic systemic fibrosis or nephrogenic fibrosing dermopathy. However, due to the recent studies, the association is so strong that both the FDA and the company that makes gadolinium have sent out warnings about the use of gadolinium containing contrast in patients with advanced kidney disease. Now, what are the symptoms? There are red or dark patches, skin may feel woody or surface may resemble the texture of the peel of an orange, contracting and or locking joints, skin lesions, yellow papules or flakes in or near the eyes. So here is a cross section. Here is you can see there is a marked edema in the subcutaneous fat, intermuscular fascia and thigh muscles with some sparing of posterior thigh muscles. So this is the presentation with an area of edema, induration and erythema on the forearm. This is the extensive thickening of the skin, often associated with brawny hyperpigmentation. Now, about the pre-screening, A study spoke in favor of additional screening prior to any gadolinium enhanced MR exam, estimation of renal GFR by isotope redogram studies, a simple study done in each and every nuclear medicine department. If the estimated GFR is of less than 50, we look to see if they have any concomitant factors such as severe infection, sepsis, pneumonia, meningitis, major surgery such as coronary bypass or transplantation, or vascular thrombosis such as pulmonary embolism or renal artery thrombosis. If they flunk that GFR test, one should avoid administering any gadolinium contrast agents to them. The message goes, after the MR scan, the patients are followed closely for several months to watch for NSF symptoms which can occur days or even weeks later. So, American College of Radiology guidance document for safe MR practice stated that for all patients with stage 2, 4 or 5 kidney disease or those with acute kidney injury, it is recommended that one consider refraining from administering any gadolinium based contrast agent unless a risk benefit assessment for that particular patient indicates that the benefit of doing so clearly outweighs the potential risks. So the American College of Radiology and the FDA recommend that immediate hemodialysis directly from the MR scanner plus another dialysis session within 24 hours if it is clinically safe to do so. Considering that transmetallation is the most likely theory of what's going on and the release of the free gadolinium, it is extremely important to begin getting rid of these agents immediately after you no longer need them, which is the second you finish your MR exam. So, is gadolinium a necessary factor in the development of NSF? Estimation of renal GFR by isotope redogram study should be made mandatory before undergoing MRI or MRI studies in the potential high-risk group of patients with renal disease. This is also mandatory for patients with transplant kidney undergoing MRI studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Any questions? I see there is no questions. So,
our next speaker is Dr. Tarun Chaudhary from